You get back-to-back YouTube videos. Now, some of these YouTube videos from my old YouTube channel, my original content, some of these videos are getting remade over because I got sabotaged last year. You know, it's called identity theft when someone tries to steal your identity and things of that nature. So some of these videos will be on my reserve channel. This is actually going to be put on my reserve channel. So my secondary channel, if you want to see those videos, I'll put in the description link in the next video with my secondary channels. I'm talking about my new YouTube channels where you see some new and some old content. You know, this is a reserved channel in case, you know, videos on there get deleted or someone tries to make a complaint to YouTube. You know how some people are. Now, this YouTube video I'm going to make, it's going to be part 2 of the shit test versus mind games. Because I see a lot of men are still upset at the idea of women making men take a shit test. And a lot of men cry about women making them play games. So it's my job to try to explain to you the math and science on it. Because a lot of men get confused. A lot of men believe that mind games and shit tests are the same, when they sound the same, they feel the same, but they're both different. It's like what my professor told me at Los Angeles City College in acting and theater class, the suspension of disbelief, which means it feels real, it sounds real, but in reality, it's not real at all. So I have to give you the math and science on a shit test versus mind games part 2. And the purpose of a part 2 is because it's original content, and some YouTubers may go to my old Alexander Oden channel, and some of you may not. Some of y'all just want to watch the video on this reserved channel. So that's the purpose of remaking some of these videos over. Not all videos are going to get remade over, just only the ones I think is most important, and then we're going to move on to some completely new content. Now, the purpose of a shit test, when women give men a shit test, it's usually beautiful, attractive women from the ages 18 to 29. Women that's in their prime, they give out a shit test. A shit test is to see if you're going to open your mouth and call out a woman's bullshit. Like, for an example, let's say you meet a girl at the park, at the beach, at the mall, the movie theater, at work, at the gym. Most commonly at the workplace, 99.99% of the time, a woman will shit test you. Now, the one thing I didn't put in part 1 of the video that I'll put in part 2 is most men have no idea when they're being shit tested. Like when you tell a man, a heterosexual man, whether it's a black man, a white man, or a Mexican man, or an Asian man, 85 to 90% of the time, he don't know that he's being shit tested. A woman don't just open her mouth and say, oh, by the way, I'm testing you. She's not going to say it the way I'm saying it, because that's too damn easy. What she's going to do is just throw a random test at you, and about 85 to 90% of the time, the vast majority of us fail, because we don't know that we're being shit tested. And a lot of times, a woman never tells you what's included in the shit test. It's like when you were in high school and college, and you took a math class, and your teacher just right out of nowhere just threw a test at you. Think of a shit test as if you're in high school and college. A lot of you can relate to that, where you came to class on a Monday or on a Tuesday or even on a Wednesday or on a Thursday, right in the middle of the week, and right before you could get out the class and go to your next class, the last 10 or 20 or even the last 30 minutes of class, your teacher smiled at you, whether it was a man or a woman, young or old, black or white, and they whipped out a test on your ass. And you had that mad look like, motherfucker, why are you going to wait the last 25, last 30 minutes left before class is out for you to give us a test? And the teacher would do that intentionally on purpose to see what you know and what you don't know. And surprise, surprise, 50% passed the test right on the spot. And the other 50% unfortunately failed the test and had to take it over again on Friday morning when they came back to class in high school and in college. And a lot of guys hate their teachers because of it. But now when you think about it, if you can go into a time machine and go back to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, or extreme cases 25 to 30 years ago, you actually would be trying to hug the living shit out of your teacher, because your teacher just gave you a preview for what's going to happen to you in your adult life moving forward. And guess what? Women do just like how a teacher do. They just throw random stuff at you real fast, and you fail it 80 to 90% of the time because you don't know why you're being shit tested. A lot of guys on the internet nickname it filtering for weaknesses. The best way of looking at this is playing sports. When you play basketball, a lot of times the guy that plays a lot of defense can tell if you're mentally strong or if you're weak mentally. And they would just tear you apart psychologically. Like, you could be bigger, stronger, faster, athletic. You could be the most dominant street basketball player in street basketball, but they always had this one guy that was 4'11" or 5'3" that was short as hell, and he would take on the biggest guy and tear him apart. So women use their mind to test you to see if you're strong mentally or if you're weak mentally. And a lot of you have already experienced this already, but you don't have the answers to explain what the hell happened to you, good or bad. There are guys who pass a woman's shit test, but they're not sure if they passed because the girl don't ever open her mouth and say, "Oh, congratulations, you passed." The only way that you know that if you pass a woman's shit test, if she smiles like, "Yes, he passed," that's the only indication that you get that you passed the shit test. If you fail the shit test, the only way that you know that you failed is when they have that mad, disappointed look at you like they're your mom or your dad. I'm disappointed. Like, remember when you came home from high school and before you got to the house, a report card got into the mail? All of y'all can relate to that. I don't care if you're a black man, a white man, a Mexican man, an Asian man. I don't care if you're from Russia or Germany or planet Mars. Hell, I don't care if you're from planet Vegeta. Yes, I said planet Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. All of y'all can relate, all you men can relate that when you came home from high school and you came to the house, remember that infamous, legendary walking super slow to the door? You know the mailman smiling because the mailman got your report card, and your report card got to your mom's or your dad's house 3 hours in advance before they let you get out of school. And when you got to school, before you could sit down and do your homework for the night, your dad or your mom came into the room, that infamous legendary walk into your room, and they looked at you with that disappointed look because they told you, "I want some A's, B's, and C's," and you brought home 2 C's, 3 D's, and a fail. And before you can even open your mouth and explain your explanation, it would cut you off in the middle of a conversation and say, "What the hell did I tell you about your performance in these classes? You playing way too many video games. You spend too much time on the internet. You do way too much talking on the phone. So if I took away your phone for 2 months or 3 months and told you you couldn't watch no more TV and no more internet, how would you feel?" And when they took that away from you, you had no choice but to self-improve those grades and get some A's and some B's and some C's. And you would end up getting 4 B's, 2 C's, you probably got 1 D, and you probably still got a fail, but 75 to 80% you did better than expected. Now, if you take that concept of going to high school and college, that's pretty much what a shit test consists of. Now, what does it require? A shit test is requiring what pretty much for everything in life requires: performance. So that's the first thing a shit test requires. It requires 100% performance. Like when you watch basketball, a lot of those basketball players get told by the coach, "I want you to give me 100% in this basketball game. If I don't see no performance out of you, I'm going to call timeout and put you on the bench for the rest of the game." And guess what? That basketball player would be sitting on the bench for like 20, 30, 40 games an NBA season because he can't perform at a high competitive level. So your first thing you must understand, the shit test consists of performance. How well do you perform? How competitive do you perform? Do you give it 60%, 70, 80, 90, or 100%? The second thing that a shit test consists of is the basic requirements. Think about it. No woman wants to be asked out to lunch and dinner and you take the bus and you take the train. That's like embarrassing to a lot of women, especially from the age of 18 to 29, and they're very physically, sexually attractive women. They don't want to ride the bus and the train. It's embarrassing. Even if you give out 5 reasons or 10 reasons why it's good to ride the bus and the train, they would rather you go get your driver's license and go rent a car. So if you cannot afford to buy a car, they would rather for you to put in all the work, all the time and effort to go get your driver's license so you can go rent a car, because she don't want to be on no bus or no train at night being laughed at and made fun of by her girlfriends, because 90% of the time that's who's going to laugh and make fun of her is her girlfriends. If the girl's 18, 19, 20, 21, it don't matter if the girl's 25 or 26, she don't want to be laughed at and made fun of by her girlfriends that she went to high school and college with. Same thing if you're trying to take a girl out at the gym, you meet a girl at your job, they don't want to be embarrassed and publicly humiliated. So a lot of times if they find out you ride the bus or the train, about 85 to 90% of the time, the answer is hell no, you cannot take me out to lunch and dinner. Not even for a cup of coffee. So a car is included in the shit test. So if you don't know, you know now. Another thing that's included in the shit test, working out and going to the gym, being in athletic shape. So no one shouldn't have to tell you to go get a gym membership at 24 Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, Club Bay, Club Onyx, Gold's Gym, UFC Gym, LA Boxing Gym, Planet Fitness with that annoying ass alarm system that goes off every time somebody tries to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Or if you work at the YMCA or you work out at the YMCA, they don't care how you get into athletic shape. They just want you to have a gym membership so you can be in athletic shape, so you can get bigger, stronger, and faster. They shouldn't have to tell you, do you work out? So that means looks is included. Jobs. If you got 2 jobs or 3 jobs, they don't care if you got 5 jobs. As long as you got money in your pocket, that's all they care about. Now, for the most complicated part about the shit test. Some men say, what if I do all of the stuff that's included in the shit test and I get rejected 5 times, 10 times, 20 times? Now, there are cases where you do absolutely everything correct and the girl still rejects you. And a lot of times that's because the first time you were asked to do something, you didn't do it. And then she had to ask a second time or a third time. So most women feel like if I got to repeat myself 5 times, 10 times, 20, 30 times, I'm going to say no, even if you are doing the correct stuff. Now, a lot of times when you get rejected by a woman, doesn't matter if it's a black woman, a white woman, or a Mexican woman, or an Asian woman, the vast majority of women will give out a shit test. And they'll do it just like they're a teacher in high school and in college. They won't say nothing, they'll just give you a test at random. And what you need to understand about a shit test is better known as a reaction test. How well do you react to a woman doing something that she know it's wrong, but she want to see your reaction? Like a girl, let's say you tell a girl, I don't like women with tattoos, right? Good, perfect example. She will take that information and she'll use it against you 6 months or a year later down the road. That information gets used against you. And it ain't her fault, it's actually your fault, because the minute you communicate to a woman that I don't like a woman that smoke, drink, or do drugs, guess what she started doing in the shit test? She starts doing all of the stuff that you say you don't like. She starts doing it to see, are you going to call her out on her bullshit? And if she sees that it takes you 6 months or a year later to say, didn't I tell you I don't like women with tattoos? She'll look at you like you're stupid because when she first got her first tattoo, you let 3 months go by and you didn't say anything. So to her, it must have been okay that she got a tattoo. And then she'll look at you and say, why you wait 6 months to a year later to complain about my tattoos and my body piercings? At that point, it's not the woman's fault, it's the man's fault. And there'll be other men that are assholes like me that'll say, yeah, it's your fault, because if you knew that you don't like women with tattoos and body piercings, you should have said it from the very beginning. This is where women go from respecting a man to disrespecting a man and continue to keep disrespecting. If that's not bad enough, a woman will go to basketball games and football games and fantasize of being banged to death by basketball players and football players. And a lot of times she'll blurt stuff out in the middle of a conversation. Oh, I like a guy that's 6'4", 240 pounds of muscle. And the reason why she's doing it is to see how you're going to react. Are you going to get insecure like a bitch because her sexual fantasy is to get taken down by basketball players or football players? I'm just trying to tell you sexual fantasies. She'll use it as a test to see how you react. Now, she's not going to really have sex with basketball and football players unless you're insecure to the point where she go, okay, I was just testing you, but since you making it such of a serious problem, fuck it, I'll just do it for real. So it goes from being fake to you're now making me angry to now I am going to try to do exactly what I suggested. And guess what? 85 to 90% of the time, most men piss off a woman to the point where she go, all right, now I'm going to have sex with basketball players. Now I'm going to have sex with football players and try to get banged by the whole football team, the whole basketball team. But it was all because she was testing you. See, a shit test is a reaction test. A reaction test is a shit test. They're not going to tell you. So it could be 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and you'll keep failing the test because you don't know that you're being shit tested. When you fail the test 10 times, 15, 20 times, and you don't get shit tested no more, a lot of guys be smiling and jumping up and down for joy. You ever seen when a guy don't smile and he don't laugh? Because he knows that when the girl stops talking to you, it's because you failed every expectation that she expects of you. Okay, he don't want to go to the gym, strike one. He don't want to get his driver's license, strike two. I tell him to stop telling my business to everybody, strike three. Which, by the way, that's how I got fucked up. That's one of my problems. I like to sometimes tell some business, whether it involves me, and then it kills my chances. And like I said in my last video, it kills 90% of the sexual attraction. So you're hearing the truth from an asshole. Don't listen to pickup artists and dating coaches who just lie to you and make you come to these 2.5 hour, 3 hour seminars and charge you anywhere from $500 to almost $3,000 cash, and then don't tell you this information. A lot of the pickup artists and the dating coaches in the dating game, they know about shit testing. They know about mind games. They just don't talk about it until they feel like you advance to the next level, which requires what? More of your money. And when they do tell you, they don't tell you where it can help you. They tell you after you failed 5 times, 10 times, 20 times with a woman. And once again, it ain't no one's fault but your fault. So again, you look stupid when a pickup artist tell you to your face, oh, you should have known you was being shit tested. That's what a shit test is. A shit test is better known as a reaction test. A reaction test is better known as a shit test. So women can test you for anything. I want to see what happens if I tell them I have a fantasy about having sex with basketball players, football players. There's a good 80% chance she might actually do it for real. There's an 80% chance she may not do it. But if you get insecure like a bitch and you keep crying about her sexual fantasies, you're going to take what's just an idea, and the idea will turn into a reality overnight in 6 months to a year if you keep acting like a bitch. That's why you don't do that. She's testing to see if you're insecure. A lot of us play into the trap, and then we look stupid when we realize she was just trying to get a reaction. How about this one? This is my favorite one of the shit tests. She don't ever call or send you text messages, and it's 3 months later, 6 months later, it's a year later, and you're still trying to figure out why you ain't getting no phone calls. A woman is good at doing that. A lot of times when a woman don't do it, it's because she has 2 jobs, 3 jobs, or she just not interested. And that's a painful reality, to finally realize the realization that you don't matter and you ain't shit to her. Now, there are some things you can do about that if you ain't getting no phone calls and no text messages. You can self-improve yourself. You can either get a passport and go to another country and date foreign women, or you can just accept the reality that that's just a part of being shit tested, and that one day in the future you'll get a chance. So let's say a girl dump you for a basketball player, a football player, baseball player, or if she's not into athletes, let's say she's into guys in the music industry. Well, maybe 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, when she sees that you have the potential to self-improve yourself, she might let you take her out to lunch and dinner. Now, when I say that, a lot of you going to look at me like that's rhetorical, because 5 years from now, 10 or 15 years later, she'll be between the ages of 30 to 35, and you may not find her physically, sexually attractive. Yes, that is true. But you have cases where 10 years go by, 15 years go by, and the man still finds that woman physically, sexually attractive. He may not get her pregnant and have no kids. He may not get married to the girl, but he will take her out to lunch and dinner because he never got to do it when she was from the ages of 18 to 29. So there are some cases of it. It's 50-50. I'm just trying to explain to you what a shit test is. It's a nice way of saying one day when you can show me that you have the potential to get your own house, if not a house, an apartment, a car, and you have a job and you save some money up, and this is my favorite one, when you mature, then maybe then you can take me out to lunch and dinner, maybe one day in the future. That's what happens when you fail too much. Now let's talk about mind games, because a lot of men stress out when it comes to mind games. See, mind games is the manipulation of the mind to extract resources from a man. So if you always keep showing off, hey, I got a house, I got a 4-story house, you make yourself out into a potential target for women because you want people to see that you have something. Like if you're so fast and so quick to show a woman that you got a brand new car, the problem with that is now you make yourself into a potential mark. See, in the hood, they would always say you're a mark blood or you're a mark cuz, because that means you're making yourself into a target. So now you just get used because you have a car, or you just get used because you have a house or an apartment, and the girl still won't have sex with you. Then you give the woman your cell phone number, your email, and then 3 months go by, no phone calls, no emails. It's been done to me at least 9 times. In a 13-year history, it's been done to me 9 times. If we look at high school, college, all the way into my adult life, it's been done to me. It's happened to the best of the best. Even the best of the best get this problem. So don't be thinking, oh man, that only happens to me in high school. No, it happens in high school. It happens in college. I've seen guys get girls' phone numbers at the gym and get mad 6 months later because they see the girl at the gym with a basketball player. I've seen guys get done like that at the nightclub, the bars. I've even seen it happen to guys at my job. So don't be thinking it's the end of the world if you're the only one that a girl is giving you a phone number and then she don't ever call. It's happened to me. I've had the phone calls where you pick the phone up and you go, hello, 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 and then the girl don't say shit. I've had ones where girls will laugh in your face and then hang up like, bye-bye, bitch. I've had that. I've even had females even go as far as to give out my phone number to other guys, and other guys be like, when I see you on the street, I'm gonna whoop your ass. I've had those phone calls. Sounds fucked up, isn't it? Yeah, because it is. But that's mind games. Mind games is the manipulation of the mind to extract one's resources. See, women from the age of 18 to 29, they like to play mind games. And the reason why they play the mind games is because it has something to do with respect and disrespect. When you first met the girl from the very beginning, most of us fail to pay attention to the fact, what kind of woman was she? Is she a woman that's respectful, or is she a woman that's disrespectful? That's not the woman's fault, that's our fault. Because every single time we put ourselves out there, we make ourselves into a target. And the woman is just going to say, well, I didn't ask to be taken out to lunch and dinner, but you took me out to lunch and dinner, and you're complaining because you're not getting the kiss, you're not getting the hug. And guess what my mom told me a long time ago? A woman don't have to give you jack shit. A woman don't have to say yes to lunch and dinner or to a cup of coffee. And guess what? 99.99% accurately, most men try this at the gym, it fails. They try this at work, it fails. They try this at the movies, the mall, the park, the beach, it fails. And you see, a lot of men feel like if I go talk to women that are from the age of 35 to 40, they don't play mind games or shit tests. Okay, let's bring that up into the video. See, the reason why a lot of guys get happy and excited is because the girl's mature and she think it's stupid to play mind games. But I'm afraid the truth is never as good as it sounds. And I'm an asshole that's going to tell you the truth. Even a woman 35 or 40 years old behind your back will smile and laugh because you still ain't figured it out. That when you complain to an older woman that's in her 30s, in her 40s, in her 50s, she laughs behind your back because she used to be the woman that used to play all the mind games. You'll hear older women that's 35 or 40 or 45 years old say, oh, you poor child, or you poor baby, it's okay. That's what happens in life. She's just young and immature. Translation, it's too fucking bad that you couldn't see the signs that she played games with you from the very beginning. See, an older woman knows how a young woman's mind works. And that's why a lot of the older women be waiting for you when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 24 years old to say, I want an older woman. Because you don't know how to figure out why the young woman plays games. So the older woman be laughing her ass off behind your back because she know you don't understand how a woman's mind works. You're not a 35 or 40 or 45-year-old man yet, where you've matured to the point where you understand the difference between being a shit woman doing a shit test and a woman playing mind games. They both sound the same, but they're both different. See, a shit test is a nice way of saying it's a reaction test. I want to see how you react to shit I know you don't like. So if you tell a woman, I don't like women that smoke, drink, and do drugs, she gonna smoke in front of you. She gonna drink in front of you, and she gonna do drugs to see if you gonna call her out on her bullshit. And if you let 3 months go by, 6 months go by, a year, well, she not gonna respect you. She gonna disrespect you because to her, it should have not taken such a long time for you to catch on to what she was doing. Even if you catch on, she'll play stupid and act like she don't know what you're talking about. And she might do that because to her, in her mind, she don't think you should have never found out. And even if you say I'm the world's smartest man in the world, even the world's smartest man can be manipulated and outsmarted a total of 10 to 11 times. And you see, it ain't until you get 35 or 40 that you realize all the women that I went to high school and college with are full of shit. They never liked me. They just only did that because they thought it was fun. And you see, when I say self-improvement is to take all the stuff that you're bad at and improve in it. The stuff that you're already good at, you get better at. That's what self-improvement is about. It's about taking the worst parts of yourself and transforming into the best version of yourself. It's like going from Clark Kent to Superman, Bruce Wayne to Batman, Peter Parker to Spider-Man. Or if you like Goku, you turn into a Super Saiyan. I'm just trying to explain to you what is the purpose of self-improvement. And you see, when a woman does a shit test or mind games, that's when you're going to have to start using self-improvement. Because when a guy says shit test, that's what a shit test consists of. A shit test consists of performance. Are you going to compete at 60%, 70, 80, 90, or 100%? She's looking for 100% full capacity. She want to see you compete at 100%. And when a woman don't see you compete at 100%, well, then you get replaced. All right, I'm going to replace you with a basketball player. All right, I'm going to go get a football player. All right, I'm going to go get a bodybuilder. All right, I'm going to go get an actor. I'm going to get a film director. Or I'm going to get a police officer or a firefighter. It doesn't matter what happens after you fail the shit test 5 times, 10, 15, 20 times. After she's given you the test so many times and you fail, she don't give you the shit test no more. She don't play mind games with you no more because you failed too many times. At that point, she do the only thing she can do. She just replace you, which is even more painful and more hurtful because she's not going to even tell you when you get replaced. You know when you get replaced? You know when you can tell when you've been fucking replaced? When you see her holding hands with another guy and you be like, son of a bitch, and all your male friends, all your homeboys is laughing at you because not only that you failed the test, you couldn't even see that you got replaced. That's the purpose of self-improvement. And when I say self-improvement don't help you get the woman that rejects you, what self-improvement does is it helps you prepare for the next woman. Because the next time you meet a black woman, a white woman, or a Mexican woman, or an Asian woman, the very next time you meet a woman, you're going to get shit tested again. And you're going to then go, okay, that's why you see a guy always practicing basketball. Every time you see a guy go to the basketball park and practice by himself, he's practicing because the next time you get in the basketball game, no grown-ass man that's 35 or 40 should tell a 25-year-old in a pickup game, you need to play some defense. You need to work on your jump shot. So he goes to the park and practice by himself. Same thing if you play basketball or football. That's why those guys get up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning and start practicing in a gym by themselves. And when a woman shit tests you, that's basically what she is shit testing us for. And when I say you're going to fail most of the time, she's not going to open her mouth and say, oh, by the way, such and such, she's not going to tell you because it defeats the purpose. It makes the situation too easy. Now, mind games, a lot of men say, I just ain't going to play the mind game. Okay. You probably could get away with not playing a woman's mind game for about 6 months. You might get away with it for about 2 or 3 years. You're lucky if you can get away with it for 4 years. But eventually, she gonna drag you into playing the mind game. And you see, the one terrible thing about mind games is that even if you could beat the girl at her own mind game, it's not even a 100% guarantee if she's going to even give you a chance. See, the purpose is for you to lose. And if you actually win, 2 things happen. Either the girl give you exactly what you want, whether that's sex, whether it's to take her out to lunch and dinner, or a phone number, or she run away and hide like a coward. And about 90% of the time, if you win the woman's mind game, she'd rather be a coward than to actually give you what you want. That's the sad thing about mind games. A shit test, you still may not even get a phone number. But you want to know what's the difference? If you get shit tested, the girl might say, maybe one day when you are good at socializing and you know how to talk to women, by the way, this happened to me too, maybe 5 years down the road,